schedule this week? So you're heading out tomorrow to go recruiting?
Yeah, well, today they're off. Sunday and Monday they're totally off. Tomorrow they'll lift. We'll knock out the UAB film. They'll watch that film, make corrective mistakes. We'll come back on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday. I'm sorry, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday practice. Off Saturday, back for normal Sunday game week preparation. So, you know, it's just important this week. We got a bunch of guys. Don't have a lot of guys that are out, but we got guys, Tron Martinez and Trayvon Vance, for example, Omar Browns, that need a couple of days to get back. And so it's important that we walk back in here next Sunday that we're well rested and all those nicks are gone and back for a 3-game stretch.
How many guys will be out recruiting?
7, and I'll be out just tomorrow night.
Along those lines, I know you've got some early commitments and you got gray shirts. Roughly how many scholarships do you feel like you still have to give?
You know, we're probably 5 to 8 range, but you know, most of those are going to be targeted towards offensive linemen. And of course, if there's a great player out there, I'm not turning them down. So if there's a guy out there who can make a difference, we'll find a way to squeeze one more. So see where it goes.
But are you, I guess, kind of settle in, watch that Tulsa UCF game there Thursday night? I mean, what kind of intrigues you about that matchup?
Yeah, I think I know UCF's playing at home, and you know, UCF, it looks like they got their feet back under them against Memphis. And you know, Tulsa, I had a chance to watch. You know, Tulsa a year ago was a team that won 10 games, and you know, you thought they were struggling a little bit this year, but I think they opened up with Boise, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. Those are 3 pretty good teams. So they've taken care of business since then. And there's a quarterback. And again, we face a quarterback that's very talented, and they're an athletic team. And so they're you know, we haven't gotten into them. We've tried to clean this UAB game up, and we haven't gotten into them like we would during a normal game week. So our guys are Billy and Rip are both in the office, and they'll spend this all day today and tomorrow preparing for Tulsa. Good ringtone.
Attention, doesn't
it? You got there's 2 teams, Southern Miss now in the top 25 too in VCS. Can you talk about the way this kind of conference has played out this year and how strong it is?
You guys all know, I mean, the thing that you all have the opportunity to cover this conference. And, you know, I don't want to get into who's better than what conferences, but I guarantee this conference will line up to play against a lot of them. You know, I mean, we have 2, Houston is a team with their 14th or something in BCS right now, and you know, I'm surprised Southern Miss is not ranked higher than what they are. I think they should be higher than what they are because they've beaten a Virginia team that just I think they just won. Did they beat Miami the other night to beat Ohio State? You know, it's a good conference. I know we beat a Louisville team. We just went and beat Syracuse and Rutgers back to back. So you know, I think this conference can play with a lot of people. And, it's an excellent conference.
I was going to say, you spoiled Southern Miss's ranking, so does that win feel a little better a few weeks later?
You know, I mean, it's a great win for us. And, you know, at the time, I mean, a lot of people probably didn't know what kind of team Southern Miss had and what kind of talent they had. And they're a very talented team. They got a quarterback that started for 4 years. And, you know, I think Larry's done a great job with them of, you know, after that loss, of going back and taking care of business the next 5 or 6 weeks. And sometimes when you have a veteran team like that, and you have a really good team, a loss like that will shake you up a little bit and get you on track for the rest of the year. So that's what it's done for them. It's done a nice job getting it done.
Outside of recruiting, do you kind of use this week as kind of an evaluation week? Looking.
There's no question. Try to self-scout a lot too. And it gives you a chance to, you know, self-scout yourself and see what you're doing in certain situations and down just tendencies and that type of thing as you go back and look and see where you are and what people, you know, you go back and break our stuff down, which we keep, you know, we tally it from week to week and keep updated on that, but it gives you an idea of what, you know, Tulsa's seeing from us as far as our stats and that type of thing. So.
Woo! Okay.
Was Saturday's game just a culmination of everything that you've been trying to install here on all sides of the ball?
So we got a visitor here.
Yeah.
The nature the prettiest wrestler you ever seen. Red carpet walking. #1 trash talking. Woo! I mean, he said one time. Woo! Greatest wrestler of all time. Nature Boy is here. Let y'all resume to your press conference. Nature Boy goes.
Well, I tell you what, between you and Woody, I don't know who gets the best dressed on that. Who's the prize go to here, Jason?
I think Nate wins.
I think Nate's boy's got the surprise factor going for him.
We'll turn it over to him here in a second. We can take that. There was a question, but I forgot what the question was now.
Saturday, kind of a culmination of everything you've been trying to put in a year and a half here.
It did. I think you know, the one thing you try to do is, you know, we've talked. You know, I talked today. I took a job about the plan to win and execute the plan to win. And it starts with playing great defense. And you know, for the most part, we've done that throughout the year. I thought our defense would lead the conference in takeaways. We're one of the top teams in the conference in turnover margin. And the second part of that plan to win is don't turn it over. Take care of the football. We've done it, you know, with the exception of one game, done a nice job of doing that. And of course, the third thing is scoring the red zone. We've done a nice job with that. And the last thing is win the kicking game. And maybe one of the most consistent things we've done all year is our kicking game. Now, our punter and kicker has got to be more consistent at times, but the kicking game has been solid. It was again solid on Saturday. So to answer your question, I think that's the first time I've been here that it's been, you know, all three phases have come together and played the way you should play. But that's what Marshall football is all about. That's what it's supposed to be.
Coach, Nature Boy kind of leading to my next question. The psyche of the team, how does that change after a game like Saturday?
They're really tight right now. You know what? I'm happy for these guys. You know, the one thing that I think Danny will tell you is you know, we've asked these kids from the day I walked on campus. We expect a lot out of them, on and off the field. And you know, these kids have bought in, especially that guy right there who's one of our seniors. Not just him, but Tyson and George and Omar and the two tackles, Wood and Tillman. We've got a great group of seniors, George Carpenter, and you know, those kids we've been hard on them. We get them up early in the morning, we put them to bed late at night, and expect them to live right, do the right things, and you know, when you can finally see all their, you know, all that hard work, you know, starting to, you know, work and get into place and beat. That's where you're supposed to beat people. You know, that's what's supposed to happen. And you know, when they see those results happening, it's a heck of a lot easier for us to sell them that it's going to work. And, but they've been great. I mean, they've never flinched, and they deserve everything they get. And they deserve a couple days off. That's what they got. So go back to work tomorrow.
Or on the topic of Vinny, he called Devin Arrington the other day just a safety with the neck roll. Was that kind of his evolution from, you know, going from safety to linebacker now back to safety?
He's got a neck roll because of him neck. His neck's about that big.
Talk about the way he's finally. You feel like he's finally getting it, that safety spot.
Well, I think Devin's done a nice job there. I mean, he's gone from linebacker to safety, and he's played well. And you know, it'll be interesting. You know, because it's going, wherever he ends up next year playing, it's going to help him because he's had to play in space for an entire year. And now if you move him up a bit closer to the line, which may or may not happen, he's going to be a lot more comfortable playing wherever he plays because he's had that year under his belt playing safety. So I'm proud of what he's done. I'm proud of what all these guys have done. Omar and you know, that defense. You know, you guys watch them practice; they get after it. And you know, people ask why are you creating those turnovers? Well, I mentioned in the press conference about. You know, we work on that every day from the time they walk out that door. The first thing they do when they walk out the Shuey buildings, they got their chin strap buckled, which means they're ready to go, but they intercept the ball, they pick up the fumble, they get out there in the first 5 minutes or first 3 or 4 periods they're working on a turnover circuit drill, and it's paid off. It's because you get, you know, if you do it if you don't do it all these guys say, well, you're practicing, you're a gamer, you're not, that's bull. I don't believe in that. I think if you know, what happens in the game also happens in the practice field. You watch that defense practice, the way they swarm, the way they take the field every day, the way they carry themselves. You know, we want to practice so hard as a team. Our goal was to practice so hard as a football team on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays that the games are easy. And that's what happened on Saturday. It finally came, you know, to fruition, but that's what it's supposed to be.
Talk about the progression of the offense the last few weeks.
That's you know, I'm happy with it, and we're not. And everybody says, "What are you're changing things up?" No, we're not. We're just making plays. The offense hadn't been called any different the last 3 weeks. It was called the last year and a half. It's just that you know, our players that are starting to make plays, and you know, the quarterback's making good decisions, and when he's supposed to run it, he runs it, and he's supposed to give it, he gives it, and he throws it to the right guys. And those guys are making plays, and that's what it's supposed to look like. It hadn't changed. We're calling the same thing we called last year and a half. It's just we're starting to execute, and we're starting to make good decisions, and we got some athletes that are starting to, when they get the opportunity to make plays, they're making.
Obviously, he was much more comfortable in the pocket, though he didn't run once in the game, and that, you know, as you had some linemen banged up, you changed those guys, that didn't change either.
That's a tribute to that offensive line too. I mean, that offensive line's taken a lot of criticism, you know, throughout the year, and you know, I like this guy. I told you before, I liked him. You know, we played the whole year with the center, with the freshman center, and a true sophomore guard, and the guy hadn't played in 2 years at right guard because of a back issue, and you know, 2 tackles that played well. So those guys are starting to grow up, and, and you know what? I was happy. You know, Jordan Jeffries has gone in there the last 3 weeks now and played a lot of football for us. That's going to help us in the future. And freshman Lovell's gone in there in the last 2 weeks and played a lot of football. That's going to help us. You know, we got Schooler in there, we got Tenney in there more, and you know that offensive line is a group that you got to develop, and that's not a quick fix. You know, I can fix a receiver pretty quick. I can fix the secondary pretty quick, but I can't fix that offensive line because you got to develop those kids. And unfortunately, they've had to come along sooner than they should. They had to develop quicker than what they should have. But I think they've done a nice job doing that. Billy's done a nice job of developing them.